Committee meeting for May 26th to order. We are still conducting our meetings under the Governor Walz's peacetime emergency and doing them virtually in response to the COVID-19. It is not practical to have our meetings in person. So if you would, we encourage the public to watch the meeting or dial into the meeting. If you have comments, you can send your comments to public.info@metc.state.mn.us and we'll respond to them in a timely manner. Can we call the roll?
Barber.
Here.
Gonzalez. Johnson.
Here.
Lee. Lilligren.
Here.
Muse.
Here.
Ferguson.
Here.
And I believe I saw Lee.
See Lee, yes.
I see him. Maybe
Yes.
he's having.
We'll get him when he
Yeah.
gets his volume on. Are there any updates to the agenda? Anybody would like to see? All right, seeing none, can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
Lilligren moves.
Moved by Lilligren,
Johnson second.
seconded by Johnson. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, can we call the roll?
Barber.
Aye.
Gonzalez. Johnson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren.
Aye.
Muse.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The motion carries. We have 3 business items on the agenda today. The first business item is 2021-27 same week Microsoft agreement renewal. Craig, our CIO, is going to present this.
Good afternoon, Council. Thank you for your time today. My name is Craig Vance. As mentioned, I'm the Chief Information Officer, and I help lead our information technology services here at the Council. I'm relatively new. This is my first, just completed my first year, and so it's a pleasure to virtually meet you all for the first time. So 2021-27 is the renewal of our annual Microsoft, or excuse me, every 3-year Microsoft contract known as an enterprise agreement. We've been doing these renewals for, well, more than a decade now, and so this is a long-standing relationship we have. Microsoft's probably our most visible vendor to the employees of the Council. This renewal includes kind of core capabilities that we use every day, like email and calendar, the Council's primary collaboration tool for video and chat collaboration, Microsoft Teams, security services we use to secure many of our cyber assets. It includes an expanded role for Azure cloud services, which we will use to host some of our services in the cloud. And it covers several traditional products, including Microsoft Office and the Windows operating system we're all so familiar with. In the past, this contract has been more kind of fixed pricing oriented. So every 3 years, we would define kind of a list of things we require. As the industry moves to more of a cloud-based model, this has become much more of a kind of consumption-based contract. And this is actually very advantageous for the Council. Some of the nature of our kind of technical needs ebb and flow. So when we're able to pay for our those needs based on consumption, we're kind of able to optimize our expenditures with Microsoft, which presents some cost savings for us. So in that context, this contract is for a not to exceed price with an anticipated cost lower than that not to exceed amount. I'd like to real quick highlight excellent partnership with our partners in procurement in this particular renewal. In the past, we have procured the services utilizing state term. This time we competitively procured the services and I think resulted in substantially more compelling terms. What we did is we issued an IFB and to seek a Microsoft reseller. So this is a company that kind of we work with on the paperwork and other facets of consuming those Microsoft services. And we structured that, that bid as a cost of Microsoft plus a markup model. So Microsoft gives us a fee and the reseller marks it up a small amount. We received responses from 0.25% markup to 2.525% markup. So a lot of variability there. And we would like to award at 0.25%, which is a very competitive price. And we suspect that that probably will represent a couple $100,000 of savings for us over the 3-year contract duration. So that's kind of the 10,000 foot. I'm happy to overload you with detail, but I wanted to introduce the concept and see if there are any questions I can answer for the group.
Are there any questions on the business item? No? All right. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve business item 2021-27, same week?
Moved by Lee.
Moved by Councilmember Lee. Is there a second?
Second by Lilligren.
Moved by Lee, seconded by Lilligren. Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, can we call the roll?
Barber,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Lilligren,
Aye.
Musse,
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye,
Thank you.
and the motion carries. Thank you. Our second business item that we have is business item 2021-123, the 2021 salary adjustment for the general counsel. Marcy?
Good afternoon, Chair and Council members. I'm here to request that you approve the salary adjustment recommendation for our general counsel, Ann Bloodhart. And according to the bylaws, the salary increase for the general counsel must come to the management committee. It doesn't go to the full council. But recommendations by the chair for the increases for general counsel comes before you all. Right now, we have are implementing salary adjustments for those covered under the non-represented plan, and that includes all of our executive staff. The chair would like to have the management committee approve a 12% increase for the general counsel. And this is to is higher than the general increase for the standard increase for those under the non-represented plan, because we are trying to address a below market salary for our general counsel, and we started to make that change with last year's increase and intend to finish that this year. As we compare the general counsel's salary with those who are comparably in comparable positions at counties here in the region, we see that that Ann's salary is too far below the market there. In addition, when we look at comparable positions at the council, we need to make adjustment to get Ann's salary lined up there as well. So I think that I also wanted you to know that we have received a salary cap exception for the general counsel position, and that this increase falls well within the salary limits that we have for Ann's position. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Are there any questions for the presenter? Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just quickly, when we did salary adjustments, I believe it just was probably a year ago, or maybe, I don't know, but we looked at the council administrator, and was general counsel, I think we brought this position up, but I'm not sure at that time if an adjustment was made. Can you tell me the last time an adjustment was made to general counsel salary?
Yeah, it was a year ago.
Yeah, we
Chair,
talked
council members,
about it. We talked about a year ago. We basically made the decision to go. It was a 2-year process that we were going to follow to bring the general counsel up to market, and so we had a longer discussion about that last year as to what that was, and so this is the second half of that increase that that we thought made sense last year when we had a fuller conversation about it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I knew I recalled some discussion about this. I just couldn't remember when that was. So I appreciate the explanation and the background. Thank you.
Any other questions about the business item? All right, is there a motion to approve business item 2021-123?
Johnson moves.
Lilligren moves. Lilligren will second.
Moved by Johnson, seconded by Lilligren. Yeah, can we call the roll, please?
Barber,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lee,
Lee voted yes in the chat.
I note that. Thank you. Lilligren,
Aye.
Muse,
Aye.
Ferguson,
Aye.
thank you.
Thank you. The motion carries. Our third and final business item for the day is business item 2021-122, which is updating the list of authorized financial institutions. Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, council members. My name is Mark Thompson, Senior Manager of Treasury, and I'm here to present business item 2021-122, the 2021 list of authorized financial institutions amendment. And this business item asks for council approval to amend the previously approved 2021 list of financial institutions, which is attached to this business item, to add Drake Bank as an approved institution for the certificate of deposit program. The council initiated a certificate of deposit program about 1 year ago, and under the program, the council invests funds with qualifying local community banks who have a track record of supporting female and minority-owned small businesses, affordable housing, the unbanked, and community development. And the council has previously approved $20 to $25 million for this program. And to date, a total of $14 million has been invested with 5 local banks. An investment with a 6th bank will actually happen tomorrow, bringing the total to $16 million. So these CDs become part of the county's investment portfolio. All banks in the program go through an annual review to ensure they continue to support the program goals. So as I mentioned, we still have room in the program. We're looking to grow the number of banks and fully allocate the 20 to 25 million. Drake Bank in St. Paul recently submitted an application to join the program. And the application was reviewed by the Treasury staff and by the Investment Review Committee. They've demonstrated they're pursuing the initiatives and goals of the program, making local loans, which go to the goals of the program. For a couple examples, they've changed their account opening requirements specifically to make it easier for the unbanked to access their bank. They're also financing a female-owned small business which provides local housing, portable housing units for homeless veterans. So the council approval of adding Drake Bank is required because county policy and state statute require all banks doing business with the council to have prior approval. The CD program positively impacts the Thrive outcome of equity as the banks with whom we invest low funds, they loan funds within the community to support the female-owned and minority-owned small businesses, affordable housing, the unbanked programs, and community development. So, Mr. Chair, the proposed action is the Metropolitan Council approve amending the 2021 list of authorized financial institutions to add Drake Bank as an approved institution for the certificate of deposit program. Thank you, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Lee, you have a question?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mark. My question is, if this is an annual thing, is the application still open for other banks that might still want to apply since we're approving Drake's application today? And if not, is there a way we can help disseminate the information in the next one? Thank you.
I'm sorry, I had trouble hearing the question.
I think that the question is can new banks still apply to be part of the CD program? And what would that process be if we were open to having additional banks as part of that program?
Sure. You know, as I mentioned, we've got, 7 or 8 more million to allocate to the program. So we're welcoming new applications, and it's a form that I would send out to an interested bank that they can fill out. That's then reviewed. We require, some financial information and a Community Reinvestment Act report and some other things that I can work with the bank to get and review. We have taken referrals from council members in the past, and we do have a list of other banks who have shown interest, but I'm happy to reach out to banks if you have something in mind. And like I said, we have a list of banks that we're reaching out to. So yes, to answer your question, yes, we welcome any new referrals that council members might have.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chair,
Councilmember Johnson?
just one quick one. Mark, and maybe you covered this and I missed it, but could you just also talk about kind of what the investment levels are for some of these CD banks? We discussed that at the investment committee, and maybe this group would like to hear that too. We didn't put strong parameters around you, but you kind of have some guidelines you're working with.
Sure, Councilmember Johnson, thank you. Like I mentioned, we have, well, as of tomorrow, we'll have 6 different banks, and we've allocated 16 million total to those banks. Our smallest investment is 1 million, and our largest is 5. And so the size with each bank of our investment really depends on, the funds that we have available, the amount that the bank is willing to take on, and also depends on how their financials and their CRA reports look. So we're allocating, typically most of them are in that $1 to $3 million range. We typically, the CDs we have are, I guess, 1 to 2 years is typical. Kind of the new ones we're putting on are annual. So we make sure to review them each time they come due. So we have an annual review process. So we're looking, for instance, Drake Bank, we're looking at $2 million with them. Tomorrow, we're making an investment of $2 million with 21st Century Bank, who was previously approved. So that's kind of the typical size that we're doing.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the presenter? All right, seeing none, can we get a motion to approve business item 2021-122?
Lilligren moves to approve.
Moved by Lilligren,
Second by Barber.
seconded by Barber. Any other discussion? All right, can we call the roll, please?
Barber. Aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren.
Aye.
Muse.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's all the business items that we have for today. Councilmember Johnson, do you have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I would move to close this meeting under section 13D.03 subdivision 1 of the Minnesota statutes so we can consider a labor development and negotiation related to labor strategies.
Is there a second?
Lilligren seconds.
Thank you, Councilmember Lilligren. So the governing body of a public employer by majority vote in a public meeting may decide to hold a closed meeting under the provisions of section 13D-01 subdivision 1B of the Minnesota statutes. The discussion at this meeting will be closed under the law and must be confined to labor negotiation strategies, developments, and/or discussion and review of labor proposals. The proceedings of a meeting closed under this law will be tape recorded, preserved for 2 years, and made available to the public as provided by law. Can we get a roll call vote to close the meeting, please?
Barber. Aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lilligren.
Aye.
Muse.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The motion carries. Before we close the meeting and discuss labor strategy, I'd like to inform members of the public that we are monitoring this meeting, and for the record, that the committee will adjourn immediately after the discussion of the information item, and that the committee will not have any discussions or conduct any business after the information item is complete. For the record, please note the meeting was closed to the public at 2:21 p.m. on May 26th, 2021. And then
Greg?
people can